I was meant to go north on the freeway, and I went south. Luckily, it was only a 3-minute detour. That thing if you do that in LA, it can cost you like literally an hour of your life.
If you do that in Dallas, it could cost you like 30 smooth minutes. For real.
Man,
For real.
Literally, as soon as I realized I was on 405 South, I was like, I told him I'd be home in 15 minutes. Oh my God.
I was it was last week when I was going to the dentist. I did the same thing. I meant to go 635 east instead of 635 west. And then I just so happened, I'm like, hold on, am I tripping? And I put it in my GPS, and sure enough, I was tripping.
Well,
yeah.
In that case, in any event, since we both can't go the right direction, how about we welcome you in to So Let Me Ask You This, which is a podcast about two buddies talking about life's insignificant issues or trivial topics. And apparently, neither one of us know where we're going. I'm Martin Weiss, joined here with my co-host TK.
Of course, before we start, make sure you keep up with us on all things social at So Let Me Ask You This. That is you, just one letter, unlike the full spelling within our title of this show. So that's on all things social.
And TK, I'll tell you this. Since the last time I talked to you, buddy, I have had a significant life change.
Okay.
I have to go to work now.
Look, I was like, wait a minute, you either got a dog, a girlfriend, baby's on the way, like something is popping.
No, I have to go into the office, which honestly,
that's just
not as disruptive as the rest of those things.
Nah, that's worse.
Highly disruptive, right? Highly disruptive to the things that I'm about and the things that I've been doing with my life over the last 18 months or so. But in my defense, and in their defense for wanting me to come in, it is football season. Let's get this chair right. It is football season, and football season is the busy season. As Ted Lasso would say, football is life. So I will be at the grind in the office today. You're the third podcast that I've talked to today. Just know that.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
I also have to say the least professionally known of all the people I've shared the microphone with today.
Yeah, that's probably very accurate.
I was with earlier today. I was on with TJ Hushmanzada. Recording the Lemon Pepper Parlay podcast, which previews all of my picks for week 2. You can go download and subscribe to that one, especially if you're listening to me here. I assume you're a fan. So I would say check that one out.
Probably.
Also, you can hear me on the Extra Points podcast with Cousin Sal, the guy who is literally known as Cousin Sal. He's a grown man. Don't get me wrong. But known as Cousin Sal because Jimmy Kimmel calls him Cousin Sal because that is his cousin. And Dave Damashek. So if I were to rank these people in order, I'd have to say probably TJ. You say Hushmanzada. I say Hushmanzada first, Cousin Sal, and then you and Damashek are close, in terms of notoriety. I'll say this. The gap between
I follow more people on Twitter than what follows me. So therefore I am 100% below. Like there is no check next to my name. There is no I've no one of bro. You are the most quote air quotes famous person that would be following me via social. So nah, I'm down there, bro. It's all good.
But you know what, though? Quite honestly, it's different if you have a job that is front facing, right? Like I'm not famous in any way, right? Or anything like that. But I know people. And the reason why I know certain people is just because they also work front facing jobs. Like they're all regular people. You know what I'm saying? It's just the idea. Like I was telling TJ, you need to get on Twitter. He needs to get on Twitter. Exactly. So, he needs to get on Twitter so he can retweet my stuff, right? Because that's what needs to happen, first of all, immediately. And then also, so if he could, I told him, like, dude, if you got on Twitter right now, you'd have 150,000 followers before the day's over. You could probably monetize your Twitter account in the span of 48 hours.
Right.
So, why would you not? But trying to get him on the boat. In any event, go check those out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Those as well. But yeah, long story short, I'm back in the office. I'm editing. I'm talking on the.
That's trash, dog. I'm not gonna lie. When you so when you text and you said like you were leaving the office, I was like, oh, okay, you had to go somewhere like, you had to go somewhere special today or whatever. But like, I didn't know that this is a regular thing. Like, you're back to like, oh, that is terrible. Oh my god. So is this like a 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. thing? Like,
no, so no, it's not. I get there at 9. And I get there at 9. So I get there at 9 and I end up leaving around 1. But today I was, swamped with work. So that's what I texted you. I texted you at 1 o'clock and I said, there's no way I'm going to make it to record at 3 o'clock. And I was like, I catch you. I was like, I'm on my way. I promise you. And I was just telling somebody, I'm gonna have to adjust these Wednesdays because this is just too much talking for one day. I've now talked for 4 hours, almost 4 hours now.
Well, I did text you. In my defense, I text and said, hey, yo, if you can't go today, I understand. It's all good. I'm not tripping. So, I mean, I personally I'm not like beat. Like, my birthday was not like wild and crazy by any means. I think I was asleep at 11. Like, I wanted to be awake and see my birthday go away. Didn't make it. I woke up this morning with socks on. Like, yeah. So what does that tell you? I crashed, like, because I was up at 12 the night before because I wanted to see my birthday come in. So that's why I was like, I'm not tripping, but yeah.
My bedtime now is about 9:30, or pretty much as soon as the football game ends, I'm going to sleep. But we did bury the lead. TK, you did celebrate a birthday yesterday. It sounds like you had a roaring party staying up till midnight to see the clock change.
Oh yeah, what a blast! I mean, so this birthday was weird. Like, I think you kind of spoke on it, like when your birthday passed about a month ago. Is like, it was weird just because like it's not a milestone birthday. I'll turn 31. So it's not a milestone. Last year, it's hard to top that because although it was in the middle of a pandemic, like, I got a surprise party, which was the first surprise party that I'd had in 20 years, literally since my 10th birthday. So I had a surprise party. I got like tons of gifts and tons of support and all that. Like, it was just a blast, right? This year was just kind of like blah, kind of. It was on a Tuesday. That's first. Secondly, it's not a milestone, so it's just like, it was whatever. But I don't say blah to say it could have been better from anyone in my circle or anything. They definitely gave me what I needed. I was appreciative. And like, really, I think my outlook on this birthday was a lot different just because my outlook this year was just like, I'm just grateful, humbled, and appreciative to be alive, to see another year, to be here, to be able to do whatever, do whatever it is that I would like to do with the rest of my life. So that's kind of how my approach was. So, I mean, it wasn't like the big party thing or nothing like that. I had more alcohol than I typically do, which still was nowhere near the level of consumption that used to be in my 20s. Like, I was still able to see straight. I still drove. So, I had 2 old fashions at dinner. So that's where I was. You know what I mean?
I feel like the biggest thing about birthdays now is somebody else picks up the dinner check, which is cool, right? Yeah. Like, awesome. It's my birthday. Somebody else can pick up the check. Yeah, because
you bought me a bottle. Perfect.
And I'm automatically just assuming that, old Chase Preferred is popping out whenever we go sit down somewhere.
You feel me? Yeah. Like, everybody was like, well, what do you want? And you spoke on it before too. Like, I don't know what to ask for. So you know what I asked for this year? Shirts. So here's one. Stone Cold Steve Austin vintage wrestling tee. I was like, I just want like some like vintage like graphic shirts that I could just put jeans on and some matching sneakers and call it a day. So I got probably like 4 or 5 shirts. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? That's where it was. That's where it was this year. So it is what it is.
Man, so I know you saw this video of well, first of all, there's been a recent, not recent, but I'm saying the last like 5 years. It really started happening when I was working in local news.
Okay.
But people started installing these Ring cameras, and all of a sudden Ring videos became a thing.
I got a Ring. I got a ring in front of the crib.
Yeah, so I don't personally have one, but a lot of people do. So like you would see an incident happen on the street, and then working at Channel 7, we would then source ring camera videos, and you could put together a decent shot of what happened.
For sure, 100% HD and everything.
So, and as that was what, 7-8 years ago now. So now everything obviously is just increased tenfold.
For sure, 100%.
But we saw a video. I say we, the internet, the collective timeline.
I hope at this point everybody has seen it. Well, let me not say I hope. Actually, I do hope for the safety of others. I do hope that you.
Okay, what exactly was happening in this video? You go ahead,
dog. So first of all, this is in Dallas, right? Like, and this is not like a gossip pod or whatever, but like I put this in the notes because I felt that it was definitely necessary to speak on. Just for a multitude of reasons. By the way, your waves are hidden today, my guy. They are definitely slapping. Yeah,
I've been working. hey, I've been on camera for 5 hours today, bro. You mean to tell the dude was putting in the
middle of the break, hitting them joints. You know what I'm saying? Boy, tipped his head down. I was like, oh Lord. But no, man. So on this video in which we speak of, for those that haven't caught on by now or have not seen the video, there is this guy who now we have later learned the name of, which I could say, but for what? So there's this guy who approaches this woman via her doorbell, her Ring camera, which he later finds out is recording, that he did not know was recording. So he's talking to
put it like this. You may know this guy's name, but I would say this guy, without knowing, 100% has a middle name that is not his on Facebook.
100%. Got to.
His middle name.
Probably first name. Probably a first name and last name.
His name is like Flip De Niro or something like that on Facebook.
Yeah. Get the Cheese Johnson.
Right.
Yeah. No, but he's shooting his shot at this girl, long story short, at this girl through her Ring camera. And it's like, first of all, it's early in the morning because she says, like, it's early.
You know what time it is. Yeah.
Yeah. She sounds like she's yawning. Like, and he's like, not even just like shooting his shot. He's like shooting his shot. Like, I've seen you. You look good. Ooh. It was a bunch of he said he played in the G League. He said he does tattoos, and that he lives downstairs. Apparently,
he's a busy man.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I do tattoos too. I'm trying to make the NBA. I ain't like everybody else out here. I'm trying to get on. Super weird, super stalkerish. And at first, the initial video that when I saw it, I was like, ha, that's funny. Like, at first it's like, I respect your shot shooting, right?
See, at no point did I see that. I saw that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. I saw it initially, and I was like, "Oh, this is." My first thought when I saw the first video was, "This is not cool." Like, if I was the neighbor across the hall, I would feel like I needed to interject into that scenario. Knowing that it's a woman who lives across the street and hearing this half of the conversation, it's like I would wonder, like, do I need to get into this or not? Right. And don't get me wrong, I understand the idea of shooting your shot. As someone who has shot several shots before.
Over the top, though. Like over the top, bro. Like I said, initially, because Twitter is a strange place to be. Like, nobody really takes anything serious on Twitter unless they're taking everything serious, right? I was like, ha. And then, like you said, like after the initial ha, then it's like, hey, bro, this is weird. Like,
all right. So for me, the thing was, he rang the doorbell, and then when she said, "Do you know what time it is?" Then it triggered me, like, okay, that's weird in general.
Super weird.
Because like most of the time, most people would just say, like, "Hello, who's there?" Right? You must be ringing the doorbell at some crazy time, first of all, for that to be the response. And it's light out, so it's got to be early in the morning. Right. I'm not ringing a doorbell at noon. You talking about, oh, do you know what time it is? Like, that's a perfectly acceptable time to ring somebody's doorbell. The second thing, he was there for so long. If he had rung the doorbell,
even prior to ringing the doorbell though, like she posted initial thing. I mean, other things of his like initial approach. He like stood there, stared for a second, like contemplated, like, all right, am I gonna ring the door? Like he stood there for like a smooth 5.
And to be fair, listen, as someone who shot their shot before, sometimes you have to get your marbles in order. Sometimes you got to get your things in order before. How am I going to say this so I don't sound like a complete jackass when I go and talk to this girl who I find objectively beautiful? That's a thing. Okay, that is a real thing that exists.
Sure.
However, if the man had rung her doorbell, hey, I see you around all the time. I live downstairs. You know, I love to talk to you someday. If you're ever interested, come knock on my door. This is my apartment number. And left. I would have scrolled past the video, didn't think twice about it. Mm-hmm. But when he kept going with this whole big sales pitch and this and this, that, and this and this, that, I'm like, okay, this motherfucker is up to no good.
Yeah. No, that's like super creepy. And like I said, like that was in Dallas. So I find that even more interesting because I've spoken on this podcast about how like people don't really do a lot of things like when I ain't speak on that, but like that, because like, bro, you could have got shot, bro. Honestly, like, because what if that's me? Speaking hypothetically, right? What if that's me and that's my wife, right? And I'm in the bed next to her. I'm opening the door, bro.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't have a gun because I don't want that confrontation.
I'm opening the door.
Open the door. I'm not.
I'm not going to shoot him. I would never, especially incriminate myself.
But when you open the door, that just opens the invitation. Like, you know what you're definitely not gonna shoot him from? Inside. You ain't gonna shoot him from inside to outside. Once you open the door, now it opens that invitation to just the violence to get there. So that's why I was like, because I too am opening the door. Right?
Like I'm opening.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
My neighborhood. Get out of here. But that's why I got the Louisville Slugger. And now
Louisville Slugger.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Because in the follow-up video, did you see
doesn't
the
live there.
Video?
Yeah.
So I saw a video of this guy, and apparently, his buddy, his podcast partner, I suppose, and he's literally like interviewing this guy in a very crude and rudimentary way. But we get to the bottom of the matter. Apparently, this woman has stolen his phone. Allegedly, and he said he was going to bust in the house as soon as she opened the door, and go get his phone and get out. Which I commend this woman for not opening the door. I'll say that because here's the thing: I have been victim of the Find My iPhone. I've been there. Everybody's been there. If you have a phone, you've had a phone for the last 8 years, then we'll Find My iPhone exists. You've lost it. And if you find my iPhone to find it. And I know the feeling when it feels like it is in that house. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that don't mean you can just kick the door down because it might not be.
And she clearly didn't steal his phone.
I'll be honest. I didn't see any other videos. I don't know if she did or not. Right, but if she did steal his phone and you knew the place to go, there's different ways to go about getting your phone back. Like I just would have walked up there with the boys.
Yeah, right. Then what? I've done a little. I don't want to say extensive research. Like I don't want to act like I've like put it.
It's okay. It's okay that you saw a viral moment and you cared and clicked about it.
Yeah,
so a lot of other people.
Yeah, I did quite a few quite a few clicks and come to find out like this girl is not even from Dallas. Like she just moved here, she got kids, like she never stole his phone, and like apparently the word around town is this weirdo guy is in fact an extreme weirdo. Like,
all right, that's one thing.
There are other women with stories.
I don't want to cut you off, but this is something that I find that we do as heterosexual men that we have to stop.
Sure.
Weirdo is not an acceptable term for somebody who's actively going around harassing people. Like a weirdo,
gotta call him what he is.
Yeah, and that's I'm not trying to call you because I've been guilty of it in the past, but it is one of those words that people use when they don't want to use words that are more uncomfortable, right? But we like a stalker, weirdo is somebody who eats Cheetos and mayonnaise. You know what I'm saying? That's a weirdo. Like a weirdo is somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a weirdo. Yeah. A weirdo is somebody. I can't think of something else that's pretty innocuous, but like, you know, a weirdo only drinks grape drinks. That's it. They only nothing else. They only drink grape flavored drinks because you're weird. But that's a weirdo. A weirdo is not somebody who is harassing people on a semi-regular basis. That person is called a harasser.
That's real. No, that's accurate. And you know what? I do stand by that, because I think and this is not just pertaining to this, but I think just overall, we do have to hold each other accountable in situations like that. Like for instance, and I don't want to like go down this like weird path, but for instance, I've seen this meme where it says, how come all women know someone who is raped and men don't know the rapist or whatever, right? And I've had a couple comments to a couple women that have posted that, and I just said, well, a lot of times, you know, speaking hypothetically, we don't know if our boy was like a rapist or something, because we don't sit around. It's like, you know, I like, we don't sit around and say, oh yeah, I raped her last night. Like, that is never going to be.
But what I would say though is that while there is not necessarily people walking around admitting, you know, crimes on a regular basis, that's why I think that we have to really push back on people being called weirdo.
Yeah,
because things like that, it'd be like, oh, well, you know, he was a little funny. Yeah, he was a little funny. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? What does that really mean? Because like, that's not like, to me, being funny is you got a quirk. Like, you know, every 5 minutes you snap twice because that's your just Tourette's tick. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. That's weird. That's a weird thing to do. But you know what I'm saying? But we have.
But weird is not approaching a woman through her Ring camera. That's
not weird. That's harassment. That's what that is.
And then following up a video saying that you would have bust in her house if she opened the door just to like steal your quote unquote phone back.
Yeah, the follow-up video was very much no. I wasn't just harassing. Don't get me wrong. I also would have broken and entered given the opportunity.
Yeah. No, so all that to say, although I don't believe I know a rapist, and I hope I don't, and if I was to know someone that had assaulted someone to that degree, I would 100% first of all whip their ass, and then I would call the police. But I agree with you that we have to hold each other accountable in those situations like this. And you know, because one thing I will admit is we have all been out with a friend or an associate or seen it, just overt shot shooting. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've all seen that.
There's a difference between what is an acceptable level of shooting your shot and not. To me, if I am shooting my shot, hi, my name is Martin, and like if the conversation goes from there, like, you know what I'm saying, but generally, hi, my name is Martin. I find you really attractive. I'd like to talk to you. Mm-hmm. If that doesn't go, then I'm not gonna stand there and keep.
Then I'm gonna go.
Right, exactly. I'm not going to stand there and keep. But I personally, I don't know what it is about some people. I think it's maybe just dealing with rejection or whatever. But as a door-to-door salesman in one summer of my life, I've been rejected more in that summer than I ever rejected in my entire life. There's nothing like getting the door slammed on you 10 times before 9 a.m. Nothing like that.
What were you selling? Books, right?
Books, yes. I tell you, if you ever want to be humbled, go try selling things door to door. I promise you will not last 5 hours.
How many books did you sell that summer, bro?
Enough to buy a 47-inch television.
That's not a lot of books.
There were people, don't get me wrong, there were people that bought cars. You know what I'm saying? But my goal at the start of the summer, I was like, I hate this. I hate it. And plus, too, my cousins lived there, so I was skipping off the book field. I was leaving like we were supposed to sell till like 7, 8 p.m. I was done every day by like 2. Like,
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. So I made enough sales to buy a big ass TV and to pay for all my expenses when I was down there. And I lived in DC, so it was, you know, relatively wasn't the cheapest place to be. But I learned at that moment that rejection is not bad. In fact, Taylor, It's counterintuitive, but you would prefer a quick no. You know why?
Oh, it's ripping the Band-Aid off.
Well, it's just if I go up to that, let's say that girl I'm talking to is actual house, right? And this, the typically 98% of the time, mom would be there, dad would be at work. So mom lets you into the house, right? Or sits you on the porch and you're talking. And you're talking. And you spent now 20 minutes into your presentation, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then
all of a sudden, she's like, well, I really got to check with my husband first. And listen, I'm just speaking from experience, okay? I heard this a million times. All that I just need to ask my husband first. All that means is that woman didn't have a heart to slam the door in your face 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And you just wasted all of your energy, everything you got in you because you trying to make this sell because you got to get this TV, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it's just no. So I would prefer that girl in the bar to tell me immediately, hi, my name is Martin. I find you attractive. I'd like to,
I'm good, bro.
I'm good, bro. Cool. Or flash me the ring. All right, got it. You know what? Enjoy your night. That is always the response. Enjoy the rest of your night. And I'm going off about my way. Why? Because it's just all the extra stuff is too much. It's too much. And then but that is what shooting your shot is. And to me, once that girl says she's not interested in talking to you, you are now
wasting.
You harassing. Like for real. She don't want you there no more, my guy. So what you gonna do? You gonna just stay there and be like, are you sure? That's not how that goes.
Yeah. Your boyfriend don't let you have friends? I was never that guy. Like, I don't even know. I don't understand who made that like the famous line. Like, no, what girl is out here like, yeah, matter of fact, he cool. Let's be friends.
And look, there may be somebody out there listening to this who says, hey man, if I hadn't rolled through the first 2 or 3 punches, I wouldn't have found my wife or I wouldn't have found my girlfriend now. And what I'll tell you, I wouldn't have found her either because I am not going to stick around and roll through no punches. I wouldn't have found her either. So, and I wouldn't suggest doing it again. If it worked this one time, then stick with it and maybe ask her how she felt about the first few times that you tried to talk to her.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, like just like the men that they get rejected and it's like, oh well F you then, woo, bro. Now you're embarrassing yourself. Like you're embarrassing yourself now, bro. Like, because if she considered giving you a chance after the initial no, you have now ruined it all the way.
But it's just also the thing with me, what I don't understand, that's like it's like the equivalent of me telling you, I really, really like this restaurant that we're going to. Like let's make reservations. It's like, let's do it. Let's go. Like, come on, let's bring the wife. You know what I'm saying? Let's really do it. Then we get there and like the wait is like 45 minutes. I'm like, yo, fuck this place. This place sucks. It's the worst. It's like, bro, what happened? What changed? The fact that you just can't get in immediately? That what happened? What changed? Because 15 minutes ago, you was telling me how this was the best place on the planet. I got to take my wife here. I got to take the fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's really good?
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're right though. I think it's a lot to deal with just overall like rejection. Like some people just don't do well, I guess, with it. And I get it, but you have to have control of your reaction to the no's, the rejection, all of that. Because if you're gonna get rejected all the time, and not just by girls, like not just by women, not just by guys. You're gonna get rejected in life, bro. Like
I generally operate with this thought process. I do not ask questions that I do not want to hear the answer to. If the answer is going to upset me in some way, I'm not going to ask the question. Like I need to be good with whatever response is coming back. Yes, no, maybe so. I don't care. I need to be good with all of those. But speaking of rejection, one Nicki Minaj, who is no stranger to injections, is rejecting. No, she's no stranger to.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I was like, yeah. Wait a minute. I see
rejecting the COVID shot because she says, per her Twitter on September 13th, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. My friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision and not bullied. To which I will say,
my testicles are the same size.
My testicles have not grown nor shrank since
that's what the injection. They're the same size. Hey, it's so funny though, because she has such Nicki has such a following that like I personally, like before this tweet and things, I would not have expected such like from her. Like I feel like she Drake, sometimes like a LeBron, like people that are so like high up in some regard, they kind of avoid iffy topics. Like
you really know what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj in a high regard. Like, I don't hold her in that necessary same regard. Not in 2021. Maybe
in terms of her following. Yeah, well, and that's what I mean. Like in terms of her following, I would not have expected like that, and that's what I mean. Is like this is weird.
So the thing
Ty says that you call her Nicki Minaj. I call her Nicki Minaj too. They say it's Nicki Minaj, right? It's Minaj. It's not even a real word.
Well, I will say because Wayne had a line, and I can't remember the first half of it, but it ended with Nicki Minaj.
Oh yeah, that's
on right. I can't remember the song either, but he had it. And if you're a Wayne fan like me, which forgets all the important details, but that line, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey, Wayne been snapping lately. I saw a song with him and DaBaby. It's a new song. That song is Wayne been snapping, bro.
The pandemic did him well. Staying at home did him well. 2020, not leaving. The whole stay-at-home order did him well.
They said every time he loses the dread, he gets better and better. For real though, it's true.
But I would say back to Lil Wayne's protege, Nicki Minaj, and her tweet. I came across this in a very interesting way. So I follow Philip Lewis, who's the senior editor for the Huffington Post.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I saw they had beef. I was like, this is such a weird beef.
And also, like a personal friend of mine. Like I've known him. We didn't go to college together, but he went to State. I went to Michigan. We were both alphas. So we knew each other. I've known him since we were, well before either one of us were doing anything in the media, right?
Yeah, kids, essentially.
Exactly.
Overall. I mean, so 19-year-old child.
I see that Phil has retweeted Nicki Minaj and asked, was this the research? Because Nicki Minaj had tweeted a poll asking, which vaccine did you take? Queen Radio. Hashtag Queen Radio. Did you take the Pfizer, the J&J, Moderna, or you chose not to? So Phil retweeted that and said, was this your research? And Nicki Minaj retweeted that and came back with like, you've been talking about me all day. Get a job, those essential things. And it's like, and she did say a Twitter poll is research. And by definition, sure, a Twitter poll is research. How concise, consistent, and meaningful.
All of those other words. Yeah. All of the other words that apply.
Right.
No, it's not.
It is not exactly a scientific study with a control, but that's how I came across it. I came across the Barbs, Nicki Minaj's fan base, dragging Phil up and down the timeline, telling him to go get a job, like he's not the senior editor of the front page of the Huffington Post, which I just found incredibly fascinating. And then also,
where I'm sure he has to do tons of actual research.
I mean, it's as a journalist, it is a big part of the job. Big part of the job. You kind of really have to know what happened before to be able to accurately report on what is currently happening and what may happen in the future.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. While this tweet did not teach me anything about vaccines or COVID-19 or communicable, let me take that back. It did teach me about communicable diseases because of the 90.1 quote tweets of this tweet at time of screenshot, about 89.3 of those quote tweets were saying, hey, sis, your friend's cousin's friend, they just got chlamydia. And that's what happened.
Wait, chlamydia makes your testicles swell up?
This is why Twitter is both the worst place and the best place on the planet, because I know that COVID does not.
We should post a poll, and maybe that'll be our research.
But I think that there was enough people on the timeline telling me that, this is a side effect of when male contracts chlamydia. You might get elephantitis of your tickles and bits there. They might grow to the if you had seen medicinal fried chicken in South Park, you would know. They might hit you like the medicinal fried chicken from South Park.
Yeah, So speaking of like shows like that, like, are you familiar with Black Dynamite?
I am.
Okay, yeah. So I love Black Dynamite. They only had 2 seasons, but I love Black Dynamite. Black Dynamite is possibly one of like my favorite cartoon shows like that. But I'm still, I need to get on the South Park. I still haven't finished. What show was it that the Cocaine Cowboys? I'm still like in the. It's okay, but
I gotta get there. I'm fascinated by all of the cocaine drug trade from the 70s through the 90s.
Why?
Partly because my dad was a federal prosecutor in Miami.
Bro, what?
Like, in the 80s. So like Willie and Sal, like my dad was not necessarily involved with Willie and Sal particularly, but he knows their names. Yeah, my dad, right. Being a federal prosecutor in Miami, you're gonna know Willie and Sal Magluta. Sure. You're gonna know Griselda Blanco. You're gonna know El Chapo. You're gonna know
Pablo Escobar.
Those
Tony Montana.
But like the fictional character Tony Montana, like Tony Montana wasn't a real person, obviously.
But
that was a real situation. Like that was a real thing of people coming over, and just Miami was a wild time. And
bro, I never
as a federal prosecutor, it was good work out there. I mean, there was a whole lot of federal crimes being committed.
Bro, that is insane. And here, I thought your dad was just like the lawyer for CVS.
Well, he did that too.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy.
My
guy needs a 30 for 30.
Well, so really, if you watch the Willie and Sal, there's a period in which Willie and Sal they move, and period in which really almost all Colombian drug dealers they go from. Now I shouldn't just say it's because Mexican drug dealers is different because you share the border, right? The thing with Colombia is you can't share the border, right? The thing is transport. That's the tough part about as I speak on this as an expert of the Colombian cocaine trade. No, but it got too hard. But it got too hard to move all of the product into Miami at the rate that they needed to.
Correct.
So they started going up the East Coast and started going over to the West Coast. Enter Los Angeles, New York.
Correct.
So that those different ports were, they were hitting the port of Miami for.
Correct.
They were hitting the port of Miami so much that Rick Ross made an album called Port of Miami. How much cocaine was moving through the port of Miami, right? So it's like but if you notice that time frame lines up exactly with when my dad left to go to Louisiana.
Okay, so so that's what I was gonna ask. Like, so with your dad being a former prosecutor out there, right? Like, did he? I'm sure you've had to have heard like some wild stories. Like, did he ever did he have to leave to go to Louisiana, like until Willie and Sal got locked up, or
any story like that?
Is his name really his name? Like, now I'm scared to even say his name. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, what if Chapo and them got the drop on? So let me ask you this, and you know what I'm saying? Like what's good?
It would be incredible, and they do say the cartel hears everything. But no, my knowledge, my dad was never in any static. But it is not a job that you want to do for 20 years.
Absolutely,
right? It's one of those. But he got in when the getting was good, right? When Miami was really popping, and then when Miami died out, he was like, He had the opportunity to move to San Francisco or to move to New Orleans, and he moved to New Orleans because the cost of living was too high in San Francisco.
Yeah, I believe that. Dog, that is crazy. So okay, so that's where your fascination comes in. I mean, I love I'm really into the whole drug dealing
but also too, the role of the United States government is completely understated in almost all of this. Until really Snowfall was the first that really kind of got to it. But the thing is that people don't understand is this was all subsidized by the United States of America. This is people will talk about conspiracy theories or what they believe the government is capable of. Here's your number one conspiracy theory. The reason why so many Americans are hopped on drugs, are addicted to drugs, and are using drugs on a regular basis has much to do with the United States government as it has to do with the people who are bringing it here and the people who selling it to you.
Well, I don't know if you heard this or not, but the CIA said they found nothing that connected them to the crack trade.
Well, that that would just be conveniently ignoring. That would be convenient. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Maybe you didn't go in there.
How are you investigating yourself?
No. Okay. Sure. Maybe Teddy did not walk Franklin in to the kitchen and teach him how to make a rock. Okay. But when you're giving somebody kilos upon kilos upon kilos of cocaine at a wholesale price, there's only so many options, and they have to be go get bread, right? Because at the end of the day, you got to pay the rent. And that's the reason why so many guys were able to get off is because they were paying so much less for the brick because they knew that nothing. You know what I'm saying?
It's insane.
It's fascinating to me.
It's insane. The fact that nobody even figured this out was just insane. I mean, think about Frank Lucas and an American Gangster. Bro, he was using American planes to fly the drugs over here underneath bodies or with bodies and all that, bro, and that's real. So no, it's absolutely crazy. But you spoke on America and the conspiracy theories and things like that, bro. So I watched the 9/11 doc, and I think you told me to watch it. You admit, I don't even know if you told me to watch it, but you mentioned it, and I was like, man, I'm gonna check it out. And this was my first true documentary of 9/11 that I had watched. Now, I love documentaries though. I truly do. It's like how you read books. I watch docs. I'll watch a doc on damn near anything. And the United States, we don't give a fuck.
The interesting thing about this documentary, as I sit here and think about it, this is one of the few documentaries that I've seen that I actually lived through the time.
Right. Agreed. It was really weird. Now
that I'm sitting here thinking about it, because I'm thinking, why did this one feel so weird? Because I watch a ton of documentaries, but it's because I remember 9/11 vividly. I remember watching the same footage that we saw on, it's very similar footage that you see in the Netflix documentary live on television 20 years ago.
Yes, bro. It was really weird. I agree. That's what kind of had me so shook, was because we were 6th grade. Because you're in the same.
I was in the 5th grade. 9/11 happened for me. I was in 5th grade, Mr. Bilby social studies class, 2001.
How?
Maybe I forgot it was 6th grade. 2001 was 5th grade. 2002 was 6th grade. 2003 was 7th grade. 2004 was 8th grade. 2005 was 9th grade. Yeah, you're right. I was in the 6th grade.
Yeah, I'm trust me. I remember. I had Mrs. Check. She was our substitute, permanent substitute teacher.
Mr. Bilby social studies was my 5th grade homeroom teacher, and I was in his social studies class in 6th grade. So maybe that's where it was. But I definitely was in the room with Mitch Bilby when we found out that the plane hit. And we didn't find out that the plane hit. What happened was the principal came and whispered something in his ear, and this man went from his regular white complexion to having seen a ghost. White as toilet paper.
But that's why I say it hit so much different back then, being that we were 6th grade. We were so young, and maybe I was just, ignorant to this because I was, just living in kid land. But to me, it was all right, they attacked us or whatever. And I knew that they played, I'm proud to be an American. They played that every day on the announcements for the next 3 years. But to me, bruh, the propaganda was so real after that.
See, the thing was, and again, it goes back to all I did as a kid was watch what my parents watched. I watched more History Channel before the 6th grade than any child normally should. I knew. I was like,
the impact.
I was like, oh, it's popping. It was like I didn't know the words. I was like, I knew at that moment, and probably I knew because my dad was over here saying they gonna go get them. They gonna go get them. They gonna go get them.
Yeah,
I
didn't. Yeah, boy, did they? Like, but I just didn't. I didn't grasp like the impact like that. Like I did, but I didn't. Like, to me, it was just like, like as if, I guess it was, I was desensitized because of domestic threats, right? Like, I semi remember the Oklahoma City bombing. So I don't remember the impact of that, but I remember, there's a building that has been blown up or whatever. So it's like, and I remember Columbine vividly, just because I was in school. So I remember, I was used to domestic threats. So it's like I didn't really grasp the international threat or the international attack as much as I did at 31 years old watching this doc. It was just like mind blowing to me because I was texting you throughout, like the beginning of the documentary, and not to spoil it for anybody, even though we lived it. The beginning of the documentary is, straight up attack. This is how it went down, blah, blah, blah. And like for the first 2 episodes, bro, I was sad. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was like, oh my God, like they really attacked us, bro. Like I was hurt. Like, y'all really came over here and did this to us. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
And then I asked you how many episodes in were you?
It was literally the moment you said, how many episodes you in? And I said, I'm on 3. And I think
because I feel like, and to be fair, I didn't say anything but that. Like, to your response, like I didn't say anything but that. I was like, how far in are you? Because you might want to.
I said I'm on 3, and like 5 minutes later into 3 was when they're like, oh no, we went and got them. I said, oh my God. And you said it best. It was like as if like they smacked us and we burned down their house.
Yeah, it's like somebody came and punched you in the face, so you went decided to go burn down their house.
Yes.
It's like, not saying that somebody punches you in the face, you shouldn't hit back, but there has to be some level of measure taken. There has to be some level of crime meet punishment, because I mean, what happened on 9/11 is obviously tragic, and it's obviously, you feel for the families who were involved, and really you feel for the country, because and honestly, like you said, the propaganda after the fact. Like somebody posted the History Channel, not the History Channel, the Disney Channel with Lizzie McGuire and Lewis and Ren Stevens just talking about what it means to be an American while waving these little American flags all around, and like that was a huge thing. It was a huge thing.
And that's what I really, really took away from it, was just how, even though we're using media right now, but how the media can control like the narrative of so much too. Because I vividly remember that "Proud to Be an American" song being played day in and day out, every sports program. I'm telling you, every morning announcement at school, it was the "Come On" song. Like it was, day in and day out. And then they even had the guy on the documentary that said that he joined the military simply because of 9/11. And he gets over there and his like commanding sergeant gets like killed right there. He's like, the first time I ever fired my gun, I killed a kid that was like 15 years old because he's walking this way with the AK in his hand. Like, it's just insane, bro. It was insane, but it was a really good doc to me, though. I've been talking about it. My wife is over it. Like she asked last night. She was like, "Was that the first documentary that you've watched of 9/11?" I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Yeah, I can tell." Like, because she is over it. She's like, "Go watch something else." Like, go find.
It was very well done, and I'll say like the thing about it that it helps you understand as an American, just why somebody would hate you, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Not that I feel like I personally did anything to deserve all this smoke, but like, I get why you're not with the home team. You know what I'm saying? I understand why you would have these feelings.
Yeah, she said the same thing to me last or I think that was last night too, because she was like, I was like, dog, we are just assholes. And she was like, yeah, well, go move somewhere else then. I said, oh, no. I didn't go that far. Like, it's like being a Cowboys fan. Like, I'm gonna stay here because they're gonna talk about my team. Like, we might suck and all of that, but guess what? We're always gonna be the top.
We might suck, but we're gonna be the topic of conversation regardless.
Straight up. I said, oh no, I ain't moving nowhere else. Only other place I go is like to Canada, and that's just because they just kind of stay out the way. They're just like, how you doing,
I wouldn't move to Canada. If I move somewhere,
I
move somewhere.
My family. I'm dead ass. My grandmother's father is Canadian.
You kind of from there, just like, okay, I got you. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 3 generations removed. You said your grandmother's father.
Yeah, I asked her, for the history and stuff. Apparently, they were fur traders up there.
Well, there you have it. Now, well, if I move somewhere, this is just take this walk with me. I'm going to move somewhere that me being an American matters more than me being an American here.
So
does that make sense?
Sure. So like where?
Like there's a small town in Mexico that I was at that my dad likes to go to. I'm being serious. I'm being so serious. Okay. And the fact that I'm an American and I, struggle with the Spanish and this, that, people will walk me indoors. Because it's the idea is like, he got money, he tourist, he gonna spend his money. Yeah. So sure. I want to go somewhere because Americano. Yeah. Like Americano. Oh, okay, cool. Like, yeah, my money long, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But the biggest takeaway that I had from the 9/11 doc was that I don't remember who said it, and I wish I could give him credit, but he said 9/11 made our country scared for the first time. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you kind of look, you can draw a through line through policies since then to now from fear, like why, and like I haven't taken my shoes off in the airport in years, but the idea that people are taking their shoes off because one guy.
You got money, you got clear. What you got clear?
Nah, I got clear. I got the, you know what I'm saying. I got clear.
You got the what's it called? The
I got TSA
pre-check. TSA pre-check.
Yeah. I had clear.
Clear is like what 175 or something like that.
Yeah, clear is not. I'll put it to you like this, man.
Is it worth
unless
it? I don't have either.
You are somewhere,
I take my shoes off.
No, well, clear is if you buy clear, you better be going to a lot of. Well, it's not worth it right now, but you better be going to a lot of.
You better be traveling often.
Yeah, well, not only just traveling often, but they'll have clear. Like they have clear outside the Staples Center, right? Okay. Like to get into the Lakers game, right? Yeah. They have clear there. So if you're gonna pay for it, you got to be doing that a lot,
right?
But yeah, I have TSA pre-check because I am not a terrorist. So I appreciate all the security concerns. I am not one of the people that need to be worried about pre-check. I almost don't want to say because I'll put it like this: you can afford it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like $50 to $100, right? Something like
you can afford it. I just don't want everybody to go around and get pre-check and ruin my.
Yeah. Facts.
You can afford it.
I ain't trying to do that. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then what information do they need to like verify you for pre-check and things like that?
A significant amount. A significant amount of information. I mean, essentially what you're doing is you are opting into the IMA less of a threat than everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So you got to do a background check, you got to do all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Pass the check, and like there's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? You can't
but it is worth it though, because like
I imagine that if you can't get a passport, like for whatever reason, like legally you can't get a passport, then I imagine you probably also can't get pre-check.
No, I'm passport gang for sure. Yeah, I was thinking about it and looking into it just because like who likes to wait in like the lines for nothing at the airport? It's just like so stupid. when like you said, yeah, you can afford it. And
here's my
I want to keep my shoes on.
My worst fear is being stuck behind you at an airport. And I mean you specifically, TK, because if you're at an airport, it means your wife is probably there. It means your kid is probably there. And that means it's going to take you forever to get everybody's shoes off, to get everybody situated. Your baby's going to start fussing. And you know what I'm doing back here? I'm listening to a podcast, trying to get on my goddamn plane. Please get out of the way. That's why I got pre-check. Because I don't have the same hangups that you guys have in the form of wife and kid. All I got is my shoes and my bag and my computer. Please let me through.
Yeah. No, that's real. So you get to keep your laptop in the bag?
Pre-check, essentially, I walk through a metal detector and then I go on the plane.
Man, yeah, I might have to get that. I might have to get that for sure.
Pre-check is pre-check is legitimately like walking VIP into the club. Like,
yeah, see,
I'm not stopping in security. I don't stop at security. Like, it is a consistent walk the entire time.
See, that's nice. And I found that interesting too. Like, just, you know, and I was flying before 9/11, but just the how lax we were. Like, we really did make it easy for them to take over.
Okay, but I also think that the vast majority of things that we do now is just, I'll put it
over the top, bro. They don't even serve knives and forks on the plane anymore,
bro. I have flown with things that I should not have flown through with on TS, like through TSA, through regular TSA, not even pre-check, on accident. On accident. You got a pair of scissors in your bag. Guess what? You broke, like, technically you broke the law. Yeah. You're not supposed to, like, all the things that, I'm gonna say all of them, but the vast majority of things that happen now is just security theater. It's the illusion to make you feel safe.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Because I mean, everything can be a weapon, right?
When I really realized that the whole TSA thing, the whole security at the airport, it'll stop some, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. If you try to bring a gun through the airport, they're probably going to catch you if you just have it in your back.
You're going to go to jaily.
But I'm just saying, if you have it, you're probably going to see it if it's in your carry-on or so on and so forth. But when I used to play ball every day at the CCRB in Michigan, 5:30. That's when the run was. Go up there and play ball.
What is CCRB, bro?
The Central Campus Recreational Building.
Never been there.
It's the gym. That's all it is. It's at University of Michigan.
You're talking about in college. Gotcha.
Yeah. I said in Ann Arbor.
I was at the JCC. Where were you at?
No, but I said in Ann Arbor, so at Michigan.
Okay, I got you.
And there would be all types of guys that would come play. Some of the older guys who had graduated, who had been on the team, would come back and run. So it was a good mix. You know, anytime he's 30, 40 guys, you know, it was a good run. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm walking into North Terminal at DTW, which you are well familiar with if you've ever flown Spirit in or out of Detroit.
Of course I have.
Well, I'm just anybody who has flown Spirit in and out of Detroit. You may not have known.
I'm gonna put it on the floor. Of course I have.
I'm just Well, you know, you're familiar with North Terminal then, because that's where you flew, not McNamara. Okay, baby.
Not McNamara. Yeah.
But I am giving my ID to the TSA guy, and he's like, "What up, though?" And I look up, and I realize it's Carl from the CCRB.
Okay.
It's Carl from the CCRB.
Yeah.
And Carl said, "When you coming back in town? You gonna be hooping?" Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be back Sunday.
I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm coming to school. I gotta go ball. Yeah, I'll play. And I went and I just thought about it. I was like, hold on a minute. Carl is a TSA agent? I don't even want to pass Carl the ball.
Nonetheless, my life.
I don't want Carl on my team. In fact, if Carl is guarding me, I'm not going to yell about it, but I'm going to be like, "Hey, man, ball up. Let me see that rock. Let me see. Let me get 1-2 real quick. Yeah, got one, coach. Got one, coach."
Mismatch.
If Carl's, if Carl is guarding me, so I'm saying, what is Carl doing checking my ID at the TSA?
All right.
So just know this: your TSA agent is whoever lives within 50 miles of the airport needs a job. This ain't no highly trained security operative.
No,
this ain't no next level, I spy gadgetry going on. This is Carl from the CCRB who can't hit a jumper to save his life, checking your ID.
Wow. Shout out to Carl, man.
That's his name too. That's his name. That's his name. Because you know what? You know what's really messed up? Because you'll know this. You can have a friend, or like a quote friend, like a basketball friend, maybe somebody you go play pickup and not know their name, but you know who they are.
Yeah.
I found out the man's name was Carl because he's wearing the name tag said Carl.
Oh, he was just dog from the gym.
Yeah, what's up, bro? Hey, you know what? I bet he found out my name was Martin when he read my ID.
Well, until the next episode of So Let Me Ask You This, keep up with us on all things social at So Let Me Ask You This. That is just one letter U, not spelled out like our title. Until the next time, this has been TK. That's Martin. Don't be Carl from the CCRB.
Don't be Carl.